Hi, y'all. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you can find the link. I did my best to post it where it belongs. Okay, I'm going to get our show started. Okay, everyone, take a breath. It's a Monday. Thank you. You know, many times we don't feel that we have enough time. We don't have enough time to sit and listen to those chimes because our mind is like, you should be doing something. People don't want to sit and listen, right? So I want to let you know that time and our relationship with time is super, super valuable when it comes to connecting with spirit. I'm going to talk about that, but I'm really excited because I have my co-host, Steve Weber, here tonight. Instead of calling him my guest, hi Maggie, hello. She's letting us know she's here too. I'm going to call him my co-host, and I'm going to bring him on right now. You ready? Okay, let's go. Yay!
Hey.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
Wonderful. So I wanted to talk about time, and I wanted to bring you on with me while I talk about it. So I know that this is something that we can both chit-chat about.
Okay.
I learned this week, actually it was last weekend, where I noticed myself saying, oh, I'll do that later. Or, okay, yes, the laundry's done and I have it in the basket, but I'm going to just do it when I get home later. And then I noticed I said, okay, I'm going to wash the dishes later. Oh, and then I caught myself saying, well, I don't really have time to do that, you know, and I'm rushing. So what ended up happening is I just had a whole lot of stuff that I didn't get done, that I wasn't doing. And then I ended up with a whole list of things, and then I didn't want to do any of it. I wanted to, and I realized that's probably what procrastination is. And I didn't realize that I was a procrastinator. And I think maybe sometimes, there's a time word again, we get so in our mind about we have to do this, we have to do that, we have these lists, and we feel like maybe we don't have the time to get them all done. So I'll do the laundry later because I want to do something else right now. So I caught myself doing that. And do you know what I did all weekend? Is the second I heard myself saying it, I forced myself to stop in that moment and to do exactly what I was just about to push off till later. And it was really an amazing weekend because I got everything on my list was done, but it was done now. So I didn't have time to think like that. I didn't have time to think about how much I didn't want to do it. Did that make sense, right?
Yeah.
Because even if I tell myself I'm going to go to the gym, and I give myself a solid hour to be like, well, I don't know, you could do other things. There's other things you could do besides that. And then in that entire hour, I was like, or I could just watch Netflix instead, right? So I just caught some mind processes that were in my mind that I felt were old, stale mind patterns that no longer served me in this present moment, in this new fifth dimension, in this new way of experiencing life. And I was really, I don't know if proud is the word, but the shift from my energy of procrastination to handling everything in this exact moment. And furthermore, I enjoyed the moments. So I took the time, look at that word, to feel the warm water as it rushed over my hands, as I really enjoyed being in the moment of washing those dishes. You know, and I smelt the soap because there was nothing else that I needed to do 5 minutes from now. So I wasn't like, I gotta wash these dishes because I don't have time for this. I don't have time to be washing these dishes. You know, I don't have time to be putting this in here. You know, this laundry takes my time. A sweeping takes my time. I have to walk these dogs, are taking my time. I removed that mind pattern. And from there, I was really able to enjoy exactly what I was doing, even to the point where when I was sweeping, I was like, every speck of dirt, it was just like so fun to get it into the dustpan. It was so satisfying. And then to look around, I know, Maggie, you can get out of your cage. You know you can. She wants to come and say hi, but she wants to eat my earrings. And then taking the dogs for a walk, it wasn't like they were taking my time because that was the only thing I needed to do at that moment. Right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about time?
Well, I when you were talking about time, I was thinking there's a lot of times I like to just be kind of creative and freewheeling and not like follow my list. And then there's other times that I do make a list and I do follow it. And I think I like being creative more than I like following my list. So I was thinking when you were saying that you don't like to follow the list, that like I don't like to follow the list either. So I think us creative types are, we like to, kind of just go with the flow and be in that moment. But of course, the problem with that is that things that we want to get done don't get done. So
I learned something so valuable from you.
what did you learn?
And I needed it. You wrote that monologue for me. And I think about it every day. I thought about it last night. Like, am I playing too much by the 8th episode of Netflix? Steve would be like, you're on the other side of like work and play. You're like on the play side for 8 hours. They're only 40 minutes, so technically it was probably less than that. But yeah, anyway, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I thought about you. And since you wrote that monologue, I think about it every day to ensure that I am putting in a healthy amount of work and also ensuring that I have a healthy amount of downtime, creating a balance. But something that you said about your list. So this is my sadhana. It's a spiritual practice. My sadhana is that while I'm working on my list, not to get into my mind about, I have this big list to do, and I have to do this list, and I have to do that list, and this list, and that list. So yes, I move into the mind, and I write my list, and then I move into the now to complete my list. So even writing, it's beautiful to even feel the pencil in your hands and to feel the pencil write on the paper and to pay attention to your breathing and to pay attention to all that surrounds you while you're working on your list. Because then your list is so much fun because it's a sadhana spiritual practice. So I'm bringing my creative juices, because the creative type, and you are this way, in that you are the art. You're the masterpiece. And you're refining and shaping and moving and creating and being and allowing us to see this transformation and then sharing this transformation with us. Whereas other people create a lot of art and they create music, and that's beautiful too. And they write a lot and they create these beautiful things. You know, you are a different kind of artwork. And so you're a masterpiece within yourself. And you be the change that you wish to see in the world. So that's what you are being. It's not doing. It's not about doing. It's about being. Yay. So that is my sadhana, my spiritual practice. I'm working on it. It's not that I've mastered it yet. And there are moments when I'm in the mind. And when I'm in the mind and I've clicked into this 3D living, then I get cranky and tired maybe and just irritated. I mean, I can get irritated and I just don't feel healthy. And that's what I say healthy, because it's not bad or anything. It's just my energy is in a low vibrational stream. Mm-hmm. And when it's in the stream, I attract lower vibrational energies and emotions, right? And I get cranky. So I try to keep, vibrate at a certain vibrational pattern. That's my sadhana too. That's my practice. So Steve, tell me a little, because I could tell everyone about you, but I want to hear you tell everyone about your show, a little about your show, but about you as a person, as a human.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks. First of all, thank you for inviting me to be on the Kristen O'SHOw. I've watched your show a couple of times, maybe not every show all the way through, but I've seen it. I love what you're doing, and I think the work that you're doing is wonderful in helping people who need help and want encouragement and want answers in their lives. And that gift that you have is different than the show that I do. My show is on in the morning. I'm also part of the Spirituality Going Wild team, as you know. But I started my show in August, and I do a daily show Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 Eastern time. 7 to 8 on the West Coast. So when I have West Coast guests on, I force them to wake up early. But it all works out good. And I kind of consider it like a variety show. And I have different people on. I have some people who are very much like into the consciousness and the spirituality mode, but I also have people who are into health and wellness and people who are channelers or mediums. And so I kind of do a variety of different things. And when I started the show, I thought, what do I want to do? And I thought, well, I'm not like I've been on my own spiritual journey and my own awakening for the last 12 years or so. But I've always felt like a student. So I thought, I want to bring on people who are masters, and I want to continue to learn from them. And of course, I've gotten to know enough that I can have a nice conversation with them. And so that's kind of what the American Gumption Morning Show is all about. It's a variety of different awakenings and consciousness. And so anyway, that's really what the show is all about. And typically, it's like I said, Monday through Friday. Although I took the day off, I didn't think of that I was doing the show tonight, but I just know that it's healthy for me every second or third weekend to give myself an extra day to, just kind of, work on some projects and be at that mode where I don't have to work on my list, because when I'm Monday through Friday and then, there's things on the list that just have to get done so that you can be ready for the next show and the next guest. And I love it. I love interviewing people. I love talking to people. And so, but I had a lot of practice at sitting and listening to people. You probably know the story, but if it's okay, I'll share it with the audience.
Absolutely.
So you can see this guy sitting right above my shoulder here, and that is Tom Hanks in his role as Forrest Gump. And I was the Forrest Gump impersonator for Bubba Gump Shrimp Company from 1996 until 2011. So for 15 years, Kristen, for 15 years, I sat on my buttocks and acted dumb the whole time. It wasn't even that hard. It wasn't even like acting. It was just like natural. It was a gift. My mother said, Steve, you're gifted that way. Share that gift with the world. So,
well, you know that I would like your gift to visit me one time, but I'm allowing you to. I don't want to push you, of course. Now, do you know, Steve, how I completely understand that part of our spiritual journey is to really peel back the layers that make us who we are. Mm-hmm. So we have all these layers of who I am with my dad, who I am on the show, who I am as a career, who I am as a partner, who I am as a friend.
Yep.
You know, and the reality of it is at the bottom core of the center is when we take all those hats off, all of the hats off, and we're the same.
Yeah.
We're the same on the show. We're the same with our dad. We're the same everywhere because that's authentic self. Yeah. And I work on that. That's another one of my sadhanas. So all day I just have sadhana, working. Because I find, which you don't love, that when I'm with a friend, I will behave in a certain way and it's like an automatic behavioral glitch because it's not who I am. Even some of the things I say, I'm like, oh, why would I say that? And that's my sadhana. So when you're like, Kristen, I don't necessarily want to be that person anymore because that wasn't who I was. It was a hat. And I wore that hat for many years. Just like I danced for many years and I love dancing, but it's like, I was a dancer for 20 years and people are like, you want to go dance? You want to just boogie? I'm like, as much as I want to say yes, I've lost a little bit of that, I've done it for 20 years. Yeah. So I'll dance and I'll come and I'll do it occasionally. But that's a hat that I've taken off. So I do understand when you're like, I'm not sure. But if you change your mind at all and you decide, I would really, please come here first. Please.
Well, what I think is going to happen, so I've been doing the show Monday through Friday since August, and but I'm doing it virtually. And but the goal is to go out on the road and to my original vision for American Gumption was to live and work from the road for a 4 to 7 year period, travel about the country, meet people and interview them and really tell happy stories. Because a year and a half ago, I was still living in Montana. And the idea or the thought came to me that if I was watching the news and there wasn't one thing that they said on the news that had any relevance to my life. They were like talking about how this was so important and that, and this happened and this happened. And I went, oh my gosh, there's not one thing that they just said that has anything to do with my life. And yet they're talking about it like it's really important. And then I realized that there's not one thing that they said that is important to anybody that I interact with on a regular basis. And I'm like, this is crazy. This noise is coming into our life every day that is meaningless in terms of what our lives are all about. And so I thought, I'm going to go out and find happy stories and find ordinary people living ordinary lives and tell happy stories, because I think people want happy stories. So I could be wrong. And maybe people won't want that, but I think that we're in an evolution where, this, like the media and the stuff that's been going on. Well, the numbers of people who watch it keeps going down and down and down. So they get crazier and crazier and make it more and more dramatic. And it's kind of poisonous. And so anyway, at Spirituality Gone Wild, we're all about, helping people create a better human experience. And so I think, so American Gumption is going to go out on the road and do that. Now, the reason why I shared that was because that character that character, he would be perfect to bring out at that, time and do little skits or something like that. And so
You're so right.
So
Yeah.
we'll save him for then. It's not something I like to do, or it's not something that would be appropriate to do, now, because I don't have the costume on and you can't see the whole thing. But you put me on the bench and we do it and we start interacting. We're going to have fun with it. So we're going to bring that out. And heck, I might even come to Florida and start it right near your house. I don't know.
Yeah. We would love it because you are really uncanny. In fact, I love so much just watching you because I feel like I'm talking to Tom Hanks. I have this little I love it. I mean, and Tom Hanks is beloved, so there's a part of, and it is a gift that you have, he's this beloved actor, and you get to share your message and people look and they're like, what? Oh my goodness. Is it him? Is it not him? Because you have the American Gumption show. So I love that, Steve. Well, I don't have a TV in my house. I don't have.
Good for you. Yeah.
I don't watch the news. I don't know the last time I watched the news. It's got to be years and years. And I just rely on my sister to let me know if anything bad is going on. She's my news station.
Yeah.
If there's a hurricane coming, because people freak out. Oh my God. And then you see everyone running around, putting shutters up and everyone's freaking out. And okay, so this goes into my next thing. I speak to the universe and I'm like, do I have anything to be worried about? And the universe is like, no, you're good. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
So the universe is my news source. And, all decisions, I have a relationship with the universe like a best friend. And I know that's so out there, but that is my message because that's what the universe is. So when the universe tells you to do something, I mean, you could deny it because we have free will. But I choose to, it's validated. The universe has validated itself to me many times over. And so I choose to work for the universe. So I'm actually employed by the universe, which means I have things taken care of for me, and every day my existence is with the universe. So like, hey, how's it going? I mean, we take walks and they show me the most beautiful things. When I'm out walking, the way that the water shimmers, the little water droplets, when they shimmer on the grass and the lily pads, it's like diamonds and crystals. And when you hear the birds and you hear the stars and the wind and the way I have a lake, and it's like the shimmering crystal lake. So it's really like every time I just exist, like the universe is just enveloping me in this loving embrace. Like the universe, loves me so much and takes care of me all day long, all day. So it's not like I don't have to it's just there. It's to the point where I wake up and it's there. And I go to sleep and it's there. And everything I do, I talk to the universe first and I receive messages back. And, it's an everyday give and take. Like even certain things happen where it's funny. Little tests. I don't know. It's like my AC went. Doesn't mean life doesn't happen. The AC goes. My battery went bad. And every single thing that could possibly get turned upside down this week happened this week. That's the universe's way of saying, are you going to handle this? Or are you going to lose it? And drop back out, because the world, ACs break, batteries die. But when you're in communion, in connection, with source, you don't have any fear anymore. It's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? My AC is going to break. Oh, there was water dripping down to my second floor. And I'm just kind of looking at, I feel like I passed all my tests this week. My battery died 3 times. And where are we going? Who are we going to meet? What's happening? I had a FedEx guy just stop and jump my car. Then I had the tire guys come and they were all there and they pumped up my tires and, it's just beautiful, even though the AC is breaking and water is dripping. I mean, so you imagine that if I were in the 3D world, I'd be, oh, you have no idea the things that have happened this week. How am I going to live? I just don't live. I don't live like that anymore. I don't even have any. It's just not there. It's just gone. I don't know It's just not there. I did have a question because I listened to you and Joseph's
Mhm.
uh, show, and I heard about a barn. And then I heard about that's where you really had your spiritual awakening. And then I heard that you had some kind of vibrational energy that was shooting through you. I was like, what is all that about?
Yeah. So I lived in a house uh, for about 12 years, and I don't know when it started, but probably within the first, year or so. And I would be laying in bed at night, and I would get this like wave of energy pass through me. It was almost like at first it was almost like a shiver, and then I became more and more aware of it. And initially it was sort of frightening, not like frightening, like freaking me out, frightening, but like startling me. I then became aware of it, and I kind of tuned into it. And and when it would come, I would actually be able to allow it to kind of stay in my presence for a little bit longer period of time. It was always like kind of moving through me, and yet I was able to sort of slow it down and enjoy the way it moved through. It's a very strange thing. I never had that happen to me before. And so there was a woman who had lived in the house prior to me, and she passed away in the house. And so I thought about that, but I knew her, and she was a very grounded person, and she didn't strike me as the kind of person who would whose soul and energy would want to remain. So that didn't quite ring true, but that was the only thing I could think of. And so I asked Joseph about it, and he wasn't sure 100%, but he explained that the area that I was living in, the Bitterroot Valley in Montana, there were Native Americans that used to live there, and there were other, pioneers, and there was an old farmhouse, 100 years old, on the property. I was living in a second house right next to it. So there was many people that had lived there for years and years and years. And he thought it was probably just like people passing through, or energies passing through. And so that made a whole lot more sense than the woman, that spirit. But it was funny because I was so tuned into it after, at the end, that I kind of looked forward to it. And it was just, nothing ever happened other than, like I said, it just would sort of vibrate through me.
Vibrate. That's the key word.
Yeah.
It's a vibration. And that's what I feel with Source. I'm sure the spirit was obviously of Source. We're all of Source. We're all of vibration. So, when I'm channeling Source, tuned in to the right dial, my whole body vibrates. It's a vibration, and it goes like, and it vibrates from the inside out. And as long as I can hold on to that vibration, if I could master, which again is another thought and I work on, is holding that vibration as long as I can, and in this 3D earth plane, you glitch and you click. That's what the whole shift. When you hear people say it's about the shift, I don't know if the shift is when we shift to the 3D and then we shift to the 5D, and we're shifting to, and 3D again, they have termed this, many of the light workers have termed this 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional. Those are earthly words used to describe this vibrational shift, because as humans, we do need to have some signposts pointing to these vibrations. So when you go into the 3D, you're busy and you're in time, you have things to do, and that's where the crankiness. And when you're in the lower realms of the 3D, you're angry, jealous. And when you're even lower, you go into violence, and even lower goes into murder, and we go lower, right? So 3D, there's no vibrations. I can't feel anything. And all of our energy is in the mind. It's just in the mind. And as you move into the 4D and the 5D, that's when that vibration happens, where all of your energy is not trapped in the mind anymore, but it encompasses the entire body. So your body begins to vibrate. Your cells begin to become energized. Your body heals itself. So this is in the 5D, sickness is gone. Illness cannot live. Mental illness is no longer. Addictions do not live in the 5D of any kind. And so, and so that's what I'll teach. I will teach people how to stay grounded, humans how to stay grounded into this 5th dimension, because that's really all I have to do. If I can get them to stay grounded in the vibrations of 5D, everything heals itself, because people will begin to feel the earth as its vibrational entity, and then they want to recycle, and they just naturally want peace. They just naturally emanate love. So everything will heal itself. Everything heals itself once we shift into that. So that's what I will teach that, because I've promised that I will, until I cross over. So.
Well, can I ask you a question?
I want to do a reading. I'm sorry. I want you to talk. Talk to me.
No, I want to ask a question. So this vibrational, okay, I did feel some vibration. I got that part, and you mentioned that. But I've also heard people describe like a download, where they're downloading information, and that information can end up healing them or transform their body, as you just mentioned. I did not experience any downloads yet with that. So I guess I have that to look forward to.
Yes. Well, what's interesting, and I did want to mention this, so it's good that you brought it up first. When you write in the mornings, you are channeling. For the most part, not every time, I've noticed, but many times you are. And the only times that you're not channeling is if you yourself have an idea or a plan, a Steve plan about what you want to write. So when Steve has a plan, that's Steve's writing. But when Steve allows the energy, when Steve allows spirit and source to speak through you, then you channel. And I've heard both, channeled and not channeled. So what I would like you to pay a little bit of attention to is when you get into that space. And what's beautiful is sometimes there's a little bit like, I light my candle, and this is just for me. I light my sage. I listen to my bells. All this does is trail me into the 5D. So whatever your ritual is, maybe it is a ritual, but if I'm running around and I'm running in from out and I have so many things to do, and then I sit down and I'm here, I'm not here. I didn't shift to where I needed to shift. And so the next time, if you want to maybe set your intention to shift into that 5D to allow source to write through you, which you're already doing, then I want you to feel the vibrations. I want you to just allow it to happen. Don't try to think your way through it. Allow source to write with you, and then really pay attention to your feet.
Feet.
Your hands and your legs. So just feel your feet and your legs and your arms. But I find the feet to be easier because the arms are many times moving. And what that does is it pulls the energy out of the thinking mind and grounds it into the feet. And that's where the vibrations, if you can catch into the vibrations of the feet, all you have to do is really feel it a couple times. And then you start feeling the vibrations. And then the more you stay grounded in those vibrations, Steve is busy feeling vibrations. So Steve is out of the way. And source can then just flow through you and write and move and talk. Another thing that happens about the download is when it comes through, many times in the beginning we get so, it's like a jolt, and it can be a little scary, and it can be so fast, so quick. And it comes so much faster than what our mind can compute. and what words can form. So the download happens so fast. And while it's so important to let that vibration happen in the feet, because the download happens faster than we can remember it, faster than we can even make sense of it. There's just a knowing. It's a vibrational download based on feeling. So now, once it vibrates and downloads, just intake it all. Just let it all come in. Don't try to like, wait a minute, you're going too fast. Hold on. You need to write this down. Give it a second. Just let it come through. Trust that whenever the information that you need from that download, it's there for you. So you have this iCloud. You get an iCloud. And in that iCloud, you don't have to have access to all the information at all moments, but you do want to trust that in the moment that the information is needed, trust me, trust source, they will bring it to you. So we don't need to think and remember everything. And then when we do want to channel it out and write it out, the information will come through using your words. So it sounds like you're thinking it. That was a little tricky in the beginning because I was like, is this my words? And then I thought, but wait, because I didn't have that thought. I don't even know where that thought came from. I don't know where that information came from. So it was sounding like me. It computed itself in my mind like me, but I didn't think that. And it's such a fine line between what you're thinking and what the universe is sending to you. And that's where people get confused. So it's such a little whisper. And it really is about fine-tuning and training. It is about training your mind to be able to receive those kind of downloads. And I know that you're ready for this, which is why I'm sharing this with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I share a little story?
Absolutely.
So I did a monologue on Friday last week, and it was one of those that was sort of a download, and most of the time what happens is I get up and I have a little bit of a routine, not a lot, but a little bit of a routine. And but eventually I'm sitting at the computer with a file that I start putting words down onto the paper. And I did my monologue. Okay, good. And it was fun. The next day, I got a message from a friend who said, "Hey, on the weekend, I like to catch up with your shows and the monologue. And the monologue was perfect for what I needed to hear, right now in my life." And so that encouraged me to go back and look at, what I had written. So then on the weekend, on Sunday, I send out a weekly email, and I thought I could take that idea that I had and build on it. So first I kind of just downloaded the idea, and then this woman friend came back and said, "Hey, this was good." And then I thought, oh, I can take that and use that as my weekly, writing. And what happened was I started writing, and I kind of have a format that I use, and I kind of put a couple of headings, and I thought I could put this piece and this piece into it. And one or two of them fit perfectly. And then two or three of them didn't fit at all. And the rest of it just came. So, that was a good one too. And so, but I let it flow. So anyway, I'm doing what you're talking about, and I haven't even been conscious of it. So having this conversation is helping me become more conscious of what I have sort of been doing, just we'll call it naturally, or, it's been kind of intentional. I've been working at this over the years. And so anyway, and I appreciated that you said that sometimes you can hear when I've received the message from source, and sometimes you can hear when, I just made it up here. So.
Yeah, I know. Me too. And now that we've had this conversation, I'll give you one other little bit of advice, if that's the word. So in the beginning, now that you've received this information, sometimes we tend to lock up is this from the universe? Is this not from the universe? Am I saying it right? Am I not saying it right? So sometimes that can happen too. So what I found works to override that is it's okay for Steve to start writing. So Steve will start writing. Just don't overly try to control everything after that. So you can start. And what I find is with many of my writings, you can hear me in the beginning and then it click. And then somehow the vibrations, I move out of the way and I allow it to happen. And then I go back and reread it. And I can tell where I interjected stuff and where source is, writing. What was so fascinating too is that a lot of my writings are channeled. And again, I didn't really realize this either. So I'm sharing this knowledge because this was my learning experience. And then I had it edited, and the edited version from someone, oh my gosh, I didn't feel source at all. They edited source right out of it. So that's something that I have to face moving forward, is when I'm channeling, even the words. So for where I'm at vibrationally, there are words that do not fit into the 5D paradigm. That's another word they're using, the 5D paradigm. So past tense words and future tense words are no longer used in my writings, and it's not conscious. I don't consciously do it, but I write from 5D. So the only words that are available to me are from this source vibrational dimension. So moving forward, I'm going to have to trust that a little more, because I trusted the editors and the publishers, and they said, this is the way it has to be. And I'm like, but you past tensed it all, and you lost the energy. The energy is not here anymore. It was more like a book writing to tell someone versus channeled from source. So I have to trust that process. And I want you to trust that process too, that sometimes the words in the way that they're asking you to write is not going to be like Steve's way. It's going to be the vibrational way, what's pulling for that vibrational moment. Okay, I'm going to read for you.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, take your breath. Okay. Okay. Wow. Steve, is there a woman in your life?
Not really.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of like fantasy women in my life, including you.
I see a woman. I see a beautiful, beautiful flowering woman and man. So that's a beautiful, look at, can I show? I don't know if you can see it. Look what I pulled. Can you see those people?
Wow. Wow.
That's like awesome. I mean, like, but if I pulled this, I'd be like, yes, my man is coming. So what that means to me is whether you've met her yet or not, you are on this spiritual awakening path, and you know this, and she is too. Maybe it's me, I don't know. This is a very spiritual woman and a spiritual man together as a team. Now I do see some other situations. I do see a little bit of like sadness, and I'm not sure why. Okay, so I see some adventure coming your way, but then I see like sadness. Do you know why you'd be pulling any kind of sorrow or sadness? Not really?
Not really. Yeah.
No? Okay. I think, all right. I see adventure.
Yeah.
I see sorrow, and then I see postponement. Maybe you're postponing on your adventure and you're sad about it. Could that be it?
Yeah.
I pulled adventure, sorrow, and postponement, which is like a little bit sad that you're not moving on to your adventure. I also see an energy in your life that isn't seeing you for who you truly are in behind the scenes. So I see an energy that you're dealing with that sees you one way, but you sees you like a surface water, but you're like the deep ocean, and we're missing like the ocean part of existence. So I'm not sure who that is, but I want to let you know that energy's there. And what's interesting is that energy pulled right in between this beautiful woman and this beautiful man. So maybe you're going to meet her.
That would be fun.
I mean, I think you're ready for a relationship anyway.
Yeah. There's I've done some work in that area, so
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to be with someone who's vibrationally.
Yeah. I was going to comment on the deep ocean part. This has been a real struggle in the sense that, beating the character for 15 years, I had to suppress Steve during that time. And I wasn't even sure who Steve was during that time. And so the awakening part, and yet wanting to maybe hang on to this character that was lots of fun and brought lots of joy, and yet at the same time discover, my own purpose, that there's been a little bit of, confusion about that. So that's that part, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I also see a little bit of, okay, so I want to talk about the vibrational pattern of fear, because it's such a quiet that you know what, maybe it's not so much quiet as it is so much a part of our everyday existence. So even me coming on here right now, I have this this little bit of fear, or me taking those next steps. I have that little bit of fear, but it's such a it's so quiet that sometimes I don't recognize what it feels like inside of my energy. But I'm working on that, because I noticed that fear in my life has stopped me from really doing a lot of things. And this is from me. I can only speak from where I'm at. So I did see that this pulled up. Now, I also see that it pulled up with some communication. So when it pulls up with communication, that means sometimes we're feeling like we're a little afraid to communicate some of the important, I don't know if it's boundaries, but, we're feeling like we can't communicate effectively or in a healthy manner. And so in a way, we have that little bit of fear inside. Now, all I just want to say is, when you feel that energy inside of you, so what I do, again, my sadhana, is when I feel that energy, I have labeled and identified what the feeling or what the energetic pattern of fear feels like inside my soul, inside my field. So I make a decision to do something, and then I feel that little bit of, well, I don't know, are you really good enough to do that? Do people, this is me, I can't speak for you, but do people really want to hear can you really do this? Maybe you should go back to your day job, or whatever that tells me. And so what I have to do is say, oh, wait a minute. I know what this is. I recognize what this is. This is fear. In fact, I felt it when I was walking over here with my dogs. I felt that fear, that a little bit of anxiety about our show, a little bit of fear about coming on, a little bit of fear of what people will think, and so what I do is remind myself what it is. I remind myself that I'm feeling it. And then I remind myself that this is not my energy. This is not my energy. This fear comes from other places, other people, past situations, past circumstances. It's actually it's not part of the onion layers that we're peeling back. So we're just going to peel it and toss that one away. So when you start to feel that way, especially when it comes to you having to communicate something important about yourself, just recognize what that feels like inside of you, so that you can say, this is not my energy. It no longer serves me right now. No, thank you. And then we just shift out of it. Yeah.
Can I comment on that?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the first 2 months that I did my show. I talked. All of my monologues and my speaking were all things that I was talking about for the last several years. So they were tried and tested, and I was very comfortable speaking about them. And of course, I joined Spirituality Gone Wild, not necessarily thinking that that was my path, but the opportunity presented itself and the timing was perfect, and I trusted and went with it. And what happened was I began having more and more conversations like this. And while I had had some of these conversations with different people in what we'll call a counseling or coaching situation, it's not the type of things that I had been regularly talking about. And so now in the last 2 months, I find myself, going out on a limb with the topics that I am talking about, and they're not topics that I had been used to publicly talking about. And so that is, I think that's exactly what you're sensing. And I've already been aware of that. And so I'm glad that you brought it up, because it's really, and so the amazing thing is while there is that nervousness about talking about things that, oh, well, what will they think about if I talk about this? Oh, that's that. Oh, he's talking about that crazy stuff. That's kind of the woo-woo stuff.
I know. I feel the same way.
And so, and yet there's an awful lot of people who, who it makes sense to, and who want to hear this, because the stuff on the news certainly isn't making any sense. That's like all the safe stuff. And we don't need to talk about that any longer. That's been talked to death.
And that's violence, and it's murder. And remember how I said in the very low levels of our existence here is violence and murder and pain and suffering. And if we listen to that, we tune right into it. As energetic beings, that's the radio frequency that our energetic field will align with. So when we're hearing murder and we're hearing lying and cheating and deceiving, that energy comes right into us. And all of a sudden, that's it. We live in a world of liars and thieves and murderers. And, collectively, as a species, as a human species, we're very, very powerful. And collectively, we decide what happens to us. And, I was at a dinner party with my sister and family, and I heard about 6 people, and I don't know how the conversation got started, but I heard it about 6 people say, yeah, we need to just be wiped out. The species is damaged. We're disturbed. We're just destroying the planet. We're just all going to die. It's the end of the world. If we all start thinking that, y'all, thoughts are things, we will collectively, and I heard a term the other day, collective mass, I don't know, suicide. I don't know what it was, but it was some kind of collective ending of our species. And if we really are, and that's why all of us light workers are coming out, why we're talking, why you're doing what you're doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing, and Joseph's doing what he's doing. And what's so beautiful is I've seen so many people listening, and all of a sudden I do see them start posting beautiful things, light worker things, empathic things, healing things about, the universe and just pulling together. And so we really are kind of in a battle of light and dark with kind of our existence in the because in the scheme of the universe, Earth is very tiny, and while humans are a beautiful species, really, if it's time for us to evolve. We've had all those different ages. We have the dark ages and the golden age and the age of enlightenment. We are in the age of evolution.
Yeah.
And we are evolving as species. And you are a teacher of evolution to all of those who hear your message. It's how important you are right now. And everyone who's listening. We are the teachers. We are the ones who are helping to evolve our species. We're at the front lines of this evolutionary process, and we're paving the way. We're cutting the, we have our like hatchets, and here's our path, and we're getting all the, the debris out of the way. And, we are the ones who are walking and showing and being the change, being the change.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to change everybody else. We don't have to fix everyone else, but we have to show that you can live in this world, exist in this world, and still be able to experience peace and love and forgiveness. So people are watching you, whether you realize it or not. They're watching. Like they're watching me. Had my AC broke and if I fell apart, there are a lot of people who'd be like, oh, well, she's falling apart, so it's okay if I fall apart. But I have a choice to make: fall apart or fall into that 5D realm of fear, or trust the universe to take care of it. And the universe will always, always take care of it. And financially, we tend to, get so worried about finances, all of us, especially right now where our finances are really like unstable. We're in like a financial, disaster. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I promise you, there's only one way out of it. And Source is like, I'm right here. The universe is like, oh, you guys are struggling with your finances. Why don't you ask me for help? Because I'm right here. But why don't you ask me for help? Show me ask me, prove it. Be like, I need you to take care of my finances. Source, I need your help. Show me what you got. This crazy lady on the internet told me you're going to hook it up. What's up? That's what I do. That's what I do the second. And it's so cute because the second I have that little bit of doubt or that fear, and the universe gives me what I want, I'm like, I swear I didn't doubt you. I swear. It's like, yo, you did. I'm like, no, I didn't. I promise. I believed me. It was a little. Obviously, I had a little doubt. I'm sorry. But the absence of having doubt, and I think the Bible even says, do not doubt, have faith. They didn't say that for some or you will be strike dead. No, that's like a real thing. And they spoke in their own words about how to tell us this. The energy of doubt brings us into a lower vibration, but the energy of faith fixes everything. So we just have to understand what kind of energy that we're putting out there in our field. What are we emanating? Because whatever you're emanating, you're affecting everyone. To be honest, I'd like to tell you you're just affecting the people around you. I'd like to tell you that you're just affecting your city. But the truth is, you're affecting everyone. And not only everyone here on Earth. It's more than that, but let's start with, Earth. Your vibration, physics. We talked about physics. It doesn't stop, time and space and energy and all of that. It just keeps going. So believe it or not, whatever your energy is emanating, it's out there. And all of our energy is out there. All of it. So it's not just me or you, it's everyone who's listening. And then it's also all the lower energies too, all those lower, because if someone's cranky and they cut you off in the road and someone's rude to you, how quickly do you, and maybe you're spiritually, you have your tools, so you can say, I'm going to let that go. But for those without the tools, which is just because they're not taught as they should be in kindergarten or before, really, we should we should be taught this from birth. How does this feel? How do you feel? How do you monitor that energy? Because it's so important what we're putting out there, that energy. So, okay, Steve. Oh my gosh, I talked and talk. Thank you for being here with me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for.
I keep learning from you. And I love that you encourage me. And you've been a guest on my show, and we've had good conversations. And so now I'm honored to be part of your show. And this conversation, as it should be, was different than the other conversations, because when you were my guest, it was one energy, and when I'm your guest, it's a different energy, and that's really. And so I love it. So I love you being a guest, and I love being a guest with
Absolutely. You. Thank you for coming on, Steve. Tell everyone about your show one more time, and then Giles and Leslie, I'm going to read for you for sure. But tell me, a little bit more about your show one more time for everyone to hear.
Yeah, so it's on Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 Eastern time, or 7 to 8 on the West Coast. Or I've had guests from Europe on, and they come on at usually 3 or 4, depending if they're in the UK or if they're on the the continent of like in France or in Switzerland. So I've had guests internationally. Europe. That's all. And so anyway, tomorrow I have Shaman Isabella coming on the show,
A
and
shaman?
Shaman. She's a shaman.
Oh, a shaman.
Yeah, my first.
Wow.
Shaman. Yeah, and
I'll have to tune in. I'm not exactly. A shaman is an Indian healer, right?
Yeah, so it's basically just someone who channels, who has a direct connection with source, but it's from the Indian or native tradition, and she went to Peru, and that's where she learned her craft. And then she was taking tours throughout the world to these sacred sites for the last like 8 or 9 years, and of course that got shut down this past year. And she heard my show on Friday, and she contacted me and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe the story." And we talked, and she's fantastic, and I'm really excited to interview her. So she'll be on.
I'm excited too, because that vibration is just getting right. Like you're just getting immersed in it.
And on Thursday, I have Aaron Linsdale joining us. And Aaron is an Arctic explorer, and he soloed from like the edge of Antarctica to the South Pole by himself, like pulling a sled. And he's somebody. What's that?
Sled dogs?
No. Like a sled, like he just pulled the sled, like his stuff was on the sled, and he was the dog.
Wow.
And he got sick the first couple of days out. And so for 2 weeks, he was just like holed up in this tent. He could go like 100 feet. Like he was like really sick. And he
was all by himself?
Yeah, he was all by himself. And so he's been soloing. So he tried to climb Mount McKinley by himself. And, he wanted to try to count Everest. But they're like, no, it's too crazy up there. We don't let solo people go. And so he's a soloist. He just goes by himself. So he's going to be on, and so that's going to be on Thursday. So we have a variety of different people who come on.
Well, both of those people are vibrating in this vibration, because I know shamans are for sure, and I can feel her energy. And he's a soloist. He's connected to the earth. Yes. And as he's connected to the universe and to nature, so it communicates the same to him. So I know you'll vibrate and channel and bring this energy. And
in order to get enough calories to survive, he would eat like a stick of butter a day.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow, that's just amazing. Well, I love it. Steve, I love it because I tune into your show when I'm driving around in the car and I'm headed to work and whatever. I'm like, Steve's show is on. And I click on and I listen to it when I'm driving around, because I drive a lot for my day job. So I love listening to your show, Steve. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Shine on.
We love spirituality going wild, and we love Debbie G because she's creating an energy and a place where we all are helping the human experience. But we do it with different ways. We all have our gifts and our skills. And so I love the team of co-creators and hosts that are joining together and becoming friends and teaching each other and, learning from each other. So thank you so much.
Y'all, if you have not checked out SGW, please go on their website. SGW has got some amazing light workers and healers, musicians, shows of all kind, health shows and fitness shows. And SGW is a network that's growing, but it needs your support. So if you love the spiritual arts and, you know, you want to support something, SGW is a beautiful way to support, you know. Also, if you know anyone who's interested in getting into the field of metaphysics or spirituality, or they just have a dream or an idea or a book to write or a show they want to do, go to Spirituality Gone Wild, get a hold of Debbie. Debbie will get you together. She'll get your plan together. She will put you on the right track. She'll put you on the screen. She'll make sure you have everything you need. And trust me, guys, she is well worth it. So if you have not checked out Spirituality Gone Wild, please do that. Tell them that we sent you, Kristen, Steve, Joseph. All right. All right, Steve, I love you. I'm definitely going to check out your show now. Tomorrow, you said, and Thursday, right? Those are like what I need to check out for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Bye. All right, I got to figure out how to turn you off.
I'll turn myself off. Okay, bye.
All right, y'all. Okay, so I have I lost Giles. Well, I feel so bad. I know he wanted a reading. Okay. Let's see. My mouse. Oh, he's back. There he is. Yay. Joseph, my mouse isn't working. Okay, let's see. I'm going to click it on here. Here. Over there. Let's see if he comes. Foxy, give it a second, little pup. So while we're waiting for him to come on, I have some quick news to tell you. I told Joseph about this today, and he just laughed at me, which is fine because he's my best friend, one of them, so he can laugh at me. I have decided, guys, to go vegan.
I
know you told me it's Giles, like a gill, right? Giles.
Like
okay,
Jack,
good.
like Jack and Jill, but with an S. Jill's.
Oh, it's Jill's, like Jack. Jack and Jill, but with an S, so it's Jill's. Jill's.
You got it.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, Jill's. Well, I can't see you, darling. You're all black.
The camera's not working, but that's okay. I got your voice.
Well, thank you for hanging on.
And I got your heart.
All right, breathe for me. How's Mexico?
It's nice. Warm. Well,
It's
you're in
warm?
Florida, so you're okay.
Well, it just hit 69 degrees, and I'm freezing.
Well, I'm from it's cold.
What degrees is it there?
Right now it's chilly. We're having a cold front. So it's about the same weather, but usually it averages out 80 degrees every day.
80?
Every year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I show that you have made spiritual peace with your existence. So what that means is you do not overly stress about all the things that happened in the past, and you're not overly stressed about anything that's happening in the future. You don't allow that to take up your mind space there. So you really like to take life moment by moment by moment. So you're kind of enjoying being, living, existing. And what's so beautiful about that is that you have the ability to share this beautiful energy of yours with those people that you encounter. So whether it be, neighbors, people at a store, loved ones, you really have so much wisdom to share with those people that are in your life. Having said that, sometimes you feel like you're kind of limited on some of the things that you can accomplish due to some circumstances. Sometimes you feel a little like you're trapped and that you can't, I don't know, get to kind of where you want to be. But the thing is that that is only a thought pattern that you picked up from many, many, many moons ago. Maybe from your, family, or someone put that in your mind. It's an old, stale pattern. It doesn't work for you anymore. So when you feel your mind saying to you, oh, you can't do those things. Oh, forget about it. Oh, no, you're not that person. You're not the amazing person that you truly are. That's just some old thought patterns that got trapped in your mind. And I want you to just kind of get rid of them. Know that they're not who you are. Know that they just got stuck in there, like a little glitch in the mind, like an old recorded DVR that just starts recording things. A lot of times it doesn't even make sense and we don't know where the stuff came from. Just keep in mind, you have no limits to the things you can create. The only limits are in here. So something else is this. Sometimes the energy in our life, people like to talk. Well, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. And you should be here and you should be there. And that's good. And that's bad. And this is right. And that's wrong. And what I want you to do is just allow all that chitter chatter. You can't stop it. But I want you to go ahead and protect yourself. Turn into yourself. And I only want the words that are coming into your energy to be that of love, of forgiveness, of compassion, of, you're amazing and you're a rock star and you can do anything, right? Might sound cliche, but those are the only words that I want you to let into your heart. Everything else, everyone has an opinion. It doesn't mean you need to listen to them. Everyone has an idea about what you should be doing. It doesn't mean you have to listen to them. You're not going to make everybody happy, so let that energy go. Don't let it inside of you. Having said that too is, you have the courage and the strength inside of you to make these choices, to get the life that that you have inside of you, like your destiny. Like you have so much to give and so much to offer and so much to share. And I just want to let you know that you are strong enough to get this stuff done. Just don't let all those other people in your head, okay? Now, I'm also showing that a lot of what you're experiencing in your life is like stuff that you've brought in from past lives. So you've experienced, and I know it's hard for you to remember, but you've experienced this sort of things over and over and over again. And so now you get the chance now in this particular life to say, guess what? I'm not going to live my life again this way. I'm going to make a choice and I'm going to basically step into my destiny here on this particular lifetime, because it's time now. You've done all of this for so long, for millennium, and it's time now for you to step into who you truly are inside. Also, sometimes when we tend to get busy, and we get into our minds, and our mind runs and runs and runs, and then we forget this. We might lose our keys. We feel like we don't have enough time to develop these gifts, or we don't have enough time to share these gifts, or we don't have enough time for certain things. I just want you to remember to slow down a little bit. And when you slow down, I want you to make sure to take a couple breaths, bring your energy back into your body. And again, I want you to feel your feet, feel your hands. I want you to smell what you see around you. I want you to touch something, but just touch it. Don't, I want you to bring your body back and your energy back into the body versus into the mind, traveling things. I also see that you're kind of like a sleeping lion amongst sheep. So what that means is, yeah, you're a spiritual badass, like I can see, but you're around people who just, it's okay, but they're not quite like you. And they don't quite understand you. And you can't really relate to them, though they're all around you. So you really don't have like anyone to relate to, you know, or talk to, or anyone who's really like you. And I just stop trying to fit in with them. You're not like them. You're never going to be like them. That's just not who you are. So you're a lion amongst sheep, and you got like some ropes around you, you know, and many of us are like this, especially when we're in this regular world with regular people, and we have this, you know, this source energy, this light workers, these empaths, this power inside of us, because, you know, we're born ascended masters here on the planet to elevate the vibrations of the planet. And you're one of those people. You've just been around a whole lot of people who aren't like you for so long, and then never had any official training, you know. So get that, you know, silly stuff out of the mind, because it's not yours. You picked it up from probably those people. It's not who you are. And just do your work, do your spiritual work. You know, you got to study. You got to look into this. You have to really develop your gifts and develop your destinies and see what it is you were really meant to do, because that's the reason why life is worth living. And right now you're like, I don't get it. It's because you're not really walking down that yellow brick road like you need to be. So life is kind of, you know what I mean? So, and then after you do that, you're going to get that existence, that intensity. Things are going to move very fast. Your creative juices are going to flow. And basically, you're just going to be the spiritual guru that you are meant to be here on this earth. Okay.
Well, I tried to open up a retreat center, and instead I ended up opening up a restaurant.
Oh, that's what I mean, then.
Yeah.
So is there any way that you could do, incorporate the retreat center into the restaurant? Like,
That's what I do.
yeah.
That's what I
Okay.
do.
Yeah. So
So
bring that light.
Yeah, my thing was, okay, I wanted to bring in a retreat to just people, bring them into their awareness. And now I'm killing all these animals to make a living. Then I said, why would that be? And then I heard a voice saying, "Are you still judging, are you?"
I love that voice. I'm going vegan, but I don't judge you for killing animals, but I am going vegan.
Well, I blessed them. I love them all.
Yes, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
It does. It does, babe. And
So I have a restaurant opportunity, because in January I closed the restaurant. I lost the money. I lost the restaurant. And I'm losing the relationship that I'm in. And it's been 2020. So it's a 2020 is vision. Huh? So it brings you vision into who you are more than being blurry. So I have other opportunities that's coming for another restaurant to open up. I had a person that passed away. He was like my dad, and he passed away last year. And there's supposed to be some funds coming to me, and it's been tagging along every month, and we're waiting for this and waiting for that. And so now it should be right on the edge of coming through. Do you see that?
yes, absolutely, I do. Now, what I
Because
also
with
see.
this, I can liberate. I can pay the bills of the bill. I can release myself from this relationship that is what you're telling me, which I know. We're not at the same level. I'm not better. She's not better. We're just meant to be just good friends instead of being in a relationship. So all this will help clear. But now I let you speak.
Oh yes. I want you to really, really hold on to your relationship with Source right now and with your guides. That voice that said, "Oh, you're still judging." I want you to find that voice every day. Also, trust and have faith. So, if we have that fear and we're not sure what's going to happen, and we're afraid, that can block Source from doing the work that it needs to do. And it is moving all of this open for you, but it needs your energy to be very clear right now. And then something else, I'm not sure what your plan is for this restaurant, but I guess as a fellow vegan and energy worker, I would just like to ask you to consider sourcing the food from as healthy, conscious means that you can find. Meaning, if we are going to take the meat, as if the cows are outside, they have sun on their backs, they have grass in their hooves, they're fed properly, they've lived a good life, they are walked in love to the slaughterhouse and blessed for their givings. If the eggs, and I know that this may add a little bit of cost, and it's something you don't, obviously we have free will and choice, but maybe we could consider some healthy choices like that to spread that kind of consciousness, because that's that kind of energy, you know, that's what makes you unique, and it could set it apart. And having a restaurant filled not only with awareness but with conscious food choices is the entire restaurant could be a retreat type of teaching center. So, you know, yes, my eggs are sourced from this particular farm, the birds are treated humanely, the cows are treated humanely, the chickens, the duck, wherever you get it from. Just something to consider.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. And I also bless them and purify the energy of fear and all of that.
Good. Me too. Me too.
The room full of light, and I try to do the best with that. So
yeah, thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah, so eventually it was to be able to get some money, so therefore I could open up my retreat. So that's why the restaurant idea came up. And so I need to work a little bit more on it, because I guess I wasn't ready yet for the retreat, because there's a lot of good teachings that I've learned since then.
Yeah, same thing. Many years ago, I was trying to do this, but I wasn't ready either. And in 5 years, I've learned a lot. And I actually want to open a retreat center in Western Carolina. So maybe that's something that, keep in touch, and we can always, share off of each other. And then me and Joseph are thinking about traveling a bit. So maybe we can even start running a retreat type of energy that doesn't need an actual location, but the energy of a retreat is there, so that when we do find a home, maybe there's a home in Mexico, there's a home in Carolina, you never know. We're stronger together. We burn stronger together.
Well, I brought Joseph here a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm
sure we'll be meeting, because we're talking about traveling. So I'm sure we'll be meeting at some point.
Okay. So you see this money?
Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So you see this money coming in shortly?
Yes, I do. As long as your energy remains open to it. Your energy has to create the pathway for it to come. So the wanting it and feeling that feels a little bit like a fear or desperation, just make sure that energy isn't there. Make sure that your energy in your field is clear, meaning it's coming soon, meaning that that source is watching out for you, meaning that that the universe is going to bring you that money in exactly the moment. Trust trust the universe, trust source, trust them with every ounce and fiber of your being, that they are going to take care of you, and that they're going to, bring you whatever is needed. And just keep trusting that. Have that faith. I mean, like unwavering faith that source has got your back and the universe has your back, and they're going to bring you what you need. And then just keep making plans, because it's coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But the good part is what you've already told me about, the part where I have people that are around me and they could be influencing my thought forms, which I haven't thought about. So so I'll do a little cleanup on that.
Yay. Okay. Well, keep in touch. Come back soon. Let us know how it goes.
Thank you, my beautiful light.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you soon. Mwah. Bye. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hi, Drew. Thank you for coming. I'm going to pick. Hi, Leslie. Is it Leslie?
Oh, yep.
Hi, darling.
Hi,
how are you?
Okay.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Seems like it's been forever, but I think it's only been a week.
It's been a long week. You're right. It's been a long week. All right, darling. Would you like a reading?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take a breath. I gave you a lovely reading last week. Did you happen to read it again or listen to it again?
I surely did, multiple times.
Okay, good. Take a breath for me. One more. Wow, you have some very powerful energy. Very relaxing. Oh, it's so relaxing. It's so good. That's nice. Okay. So again, I did pull up that you are an ascended spiritual master here on this earth. I think I pulled this before. Not everyone pulls this master card. So what that means is you are the walking, living example of source energy on this planet. So your words, your actions, your decisions, you embody, or you have the potential to embody this energetic force and basically help us. We need your help to raise the vibration. So as you step into this mastery level, everyone that's around you and everyone, not only them, but who they're in contact with. And then your energy stretches to who they're in contact with. And basically, you can create this light pocket. You're like a big light bulb. You're like a giant LED light bulb. And when you're lit up, because you're healthy, because your environment is clear and clean, and because your environment, it promotes you to be able to walk in this mastery level, which, trust me, is not really that easy to do, especially when we have such 3D existence. We have our jobs, we have, responsibilities. But what I'd like you to consider is putting your energetic health, since you are such a master, putting your energetic health above really all those other things. I would just like you to consider shifting that, making that shift in your life. Now, I do see that you've had a little bit of fighting going on, like a little bit of, lower energetic, it's fighting. So what that means is, that energy, what it's doing is basically it's attempting to derail your light working. So having that kind of fighting energy, it can pull you down and it can basically stop you from moving forward in your destiny because you're tired. Because when this energy is coming at you, it's taking all of your energy away from you and it's leaving you tired. And then you're like, I don't want to light work right now because I'm tired. And I'm like arguing and fighting. I can't make things right. And, it's really just serving, it's not a big deal, but it's really just serving to stop you from developing your gifts. It happens to me all the time. I have to be aware of it. Like, for example, that's what happened to me this week. I'm not kidding you. My AC broke and the water flooded to the second floor. I lost my laptop charger. My internet went down. Oh, my car died. Like, the whole battery died 3 more times. All of this was trying to derail me from being able to share and spread this energy to others, my healing energy. And that's always going to happen. So the more you step into this light, into this role of a master, the more there's another kind of side that's going to up its antics. I just want to make sure that you're monitoring your energy through that and not allowing that energy to affect yours because you're too valuable in this way. So what I'm also seeing is that you were coming from a place of, okay, it's like a shadow place, but it's a place of, call it like the 3D living. So inside of this, we live in time. We have some irritations and frustrations, a little bit of like depression, and a little bit of just, we're in an unhealthy energetic pattern. Okay. So all of those things exist in an unhealthy energetic pattern. Now, what I'm seeing is that you're moving past this. You're going to take a step out of this. But it's going to be a conscious choice, and it's not going to happen overnight. And it's going to happen because you finally have made the decision to make it happen. What I also see is there is an energy that's surrounding you that, how do I word this, but that feels like they have made it. They have made it in life. This is their life, and you're just playing in it. This is their playground, and you're just a swing. Probably kind of, what's the word, cocky, kind of a little full of himself. But the thing is that foundation is built on sand. So it's not real. It's unstable. What they can't see around them is the energy that they're trying to create their world around is breaking, because it's not based out of real love and health and true, legitimate kind of kindness and all the healthy stuff. It's basically, they think they've made it, but they've built it on unhealthy energy. So it's not stable. So that energy's in your life right now, and you're gonna have to vibrate past that energy. You're gonna have to vibrate above it. And how you're gonna vibrate above it, this is a spiritual trick. It's one that is a sadhana, so it's going to become a spiritual practice, and it's not that easy to master, but it's one that a master needs to know. It's called, and remember this word, no-thingness. No-thingness. I want you to remember this word, and I want you to meditate on this for a while. So this is what it means. Okay, I have an example. So my AC broke, but I did not make a thing of it. The AC was broken. It's going to be okay. We're going to fix it. Not a big deal. My charger was gone. Not going to make a thing of it. It's okay. My ex did something that I really didn't like. I'm not going to make a thing of it, because if I make a thing of these things, if I allow that energy to pull me down into it, and now I have a thing. Now my AC is broken. I'm not feeling good. My ex is being a jerk. My battery's dead. I lost my charger, and now I'm making a thing of everything, and I'm not feeling good, and I don't really know how I can do this anymore. Which is common existence. But for someone of mastery level, I want you to make it a sadhana. So every time you think, and you're going to feel yourself being like, oh, you're going to remember and say, no, I am not going to make a thing of this. They're not going to get my energy. That is not going to happen. Okay, you're going to stay in harmony, and you're going to stay in flow. And whatever shenanigans that you have going on around you, you're not making a thing of it. It's not coming into your energy. It's not going to take your energy or exhaust you. You're an ascended master here. You're here practicing. Whatever cracks they have on the foundation, let it be. And do not let that get into your energetic field. And if you find that it did get into your energetic field, it's okay. Shift out of it. It's that easy. Let it go. If you found you've made a thing of it, just stop. Never mind. Whoops. No thing. No thing. No thing. This is what the card looks like. No.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very, very important card. Only a spiritual master can get to this. Can get to this. I mean, you have the ability to do it. A couple other things is I do see again that you're a sleeping lion amongst sheep, as many of us are. So you're here to again be a master, to elevate the planet, to share your destiny, to just be this important vibrational energy here on this world. But you're surrounded by a whole lot of people who would never understand this conversation ever. And that's okay too, because it's not meant to explain all of this to everybody. Not everyone's meant to understand this conversation. So you embody this conversation, and keep in mind that you're not like everyone else. So if you're trying to fit in, or not fit in, but trying to find connections with people who aren't vibrating at your level, you'll just feel sometimes alone, So we're around these people all the time, and that's okay because you're setting the example for them. But what's important is that you find other lions that can understand you and that you can talk about this openly. It may not be who's around you right now. It could be a spiritual group. It could be in a church. It could be in a yoga class. It could be, I don't know where. But you want to find it so that you don't feel kind of like you're all alone. Like you're like this, this giant lion and you don't know who to talk to. So another thing is, I feel like you're postponing some decisions, and you're kind of watching. You're over here, kind of watching a lot of things happening around you, and you can see and feel the amazingness of just kind of making that decision. But you're like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I should. Maybe I'm just not going to make that decision today. And the thing is they're asking you to really trust them. And sometimes to trust, we don't always have the answers. And we don't always know what's going to happen. We don't always know what's right, but we do know that we can trust. And I promise you that the universe is on your side. You have the entire universe asking for you to step into your light, and they have your back. They're going to cover whatever choices that you need to make. So just no more postponing, trust it, and stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing what other people have done to what you're going to do or to what you have done. Stop being like, well, look at them, they've done this, or they have this life, or they've made those choices, or they've forget about all that. Because I guarantee you that whoever you're comparing yourself with is probably just a baby little sheep, and they're probably fluffy and cute. But girl, you are a lion. You have a mane. You'll never compare yourself to anyone else. You're nowhere near anyone else. You're here for a particular reason. You're very unique in who you are. There's no other person like you. There's no other person who can be you. There's no other vibration pattern that comes close to yours, and you are very needed. Okay?
Wow, that's amazing. Today I had both of my cars towed away because neither one of them worked. And then when I went to rent a car with my credit card, I found out that somebody had fraudulently charged almost $1,500 worth of stuff on my credit card that I pay my household bills with. And so that's where the nothingness, no thingness came in today. I got this. AAA helped me, and Hertz helped me, and State Farm, picked up on the fraud charges. And yes, I've been thinking about buying a new car because I'm driving old cars, and the linkage quit in one, and the other one I can't get into because the doors don't open. And it's just been, do I really want to go $30,000 into debt? And times are hard nowadays. And I quit my Sunday job. I have to learn to say no, just so that I can have a day to myself. And it was really nice this Sunday. It was the first time this year that I didn't work 60 hours a week. And yeah, I can see where a lot of what you said is right on.
Yeah. And it's happening to all of us right now, I guess. Again, as you're moving closer to making peace with your life, the antics are going to step up to see if they can derail you. It's the forces of light and dark that are on this planet. Too much to go into right now, but know that it's there.
Right. Well, without the dark, you can't appreciate the light.
Yeah, absolutely, girl. We have to the moment I was able to say, okay, so my car died 3 times. Okay. And yes, I did just spend a whole lot of money on a battery. The paint came through, so I had my stuff too, but I just said, because I trust source and the universe so wholeheartedly that if that's the circumstance that I needed to experience at this moment, I'm going to trust it. And I'm going to, the 1,500 and whatever was taken. I want you to just go to source and say, I'm trusting you in this situation. I trust you and your guidance to know that you're taking care of me. I completely believe in you. And watch what happens. but really put your faith in there. You're not alone in any of this. And maybe some of this is happening because they want you to rely on them a little bit more. You know, get that connection going. Trust them. Trust source. Okay?
I can do that. Yes.
Yeah, I think you can too. Let me know how things go, okay?
Thank you, Kristen. You're amazing.
Thank you for coming on. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your presence.
No problem. It's a work night for me.
Yes.
I'm here till 7 a.m.
You've been there since 7 a.m.?
No, I'll be here till 7 a.m. I work
Oh.
7 p to 7 a on Mondays.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I will enjoy your evening and come back and let us know how things go, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You be safe.
You too. Be safe. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. No, let's see. There, Drew, you want to come on? You there, Drew? Just clicking in with your pretty face?
Sure, why not?
Why not, darling? Why not? I got a couple more minutes. How are you?
Good.
Okay, you want a reading?
Sure.
I wasn't really planning on it, but
I was just listening to you. I love listening to what you have to say, and
Yay. Take a breath. One more. Okay. Oh, look at you. Well, good job, Drew. You changed your cards. You you cleared some stuff up.
Yep.
Good job. I love that. See, you clear that stuff up and then things begin to flow again. Right? So I'm going to tell you, which, I didn't know, but that's probably why you keep tuning in, is because it's also showing me that you're in a similar situation than our previous lady. So a lot of that message was for you as well. I do see that, which again, I never knew this about you. So you really keep this into yourself. You're also a lion amongst sheep, which again doesn't happen all the time. Like, I don't see that all the time, because the reality is it's not a big deal, but we love the sheep. We need the sheep. The sheep are great, but it's pretty much the people. I mean, you know who they are. And they're the ones who are kind of like, they're always judging and they're nitpicking and they're telling you what's right and what's wrong and what's good and what's bad. And they're really like, it can be a lot to deal with all the time. So especially for someone like you, and it looks like you've kept all this really like embodied inside of you, because every step that you make, you're kind of like, oh my God, it's another one. Oh my God, it's another one. Oh my God, it's another one. So you have no outlet. You have no outlet to be who you truly are, because you haven't found that energetic vibration pattern that matches you. So what that means is you have a little bit of homework to do. So it's not at work and it's not at home and it's not, you have to find people who are like you. It's time now. So Meetup is a really good website, and it has a lot of different local groups in the area. And you're going to want to just go through and vibrationally find one that you feel matches with you. And then at some point, you're going to have to figure out how to share some of this, knowledge and some of this gifts with other people. But I think at first you have to find your other people. You have to find the people who are like you, so that you don't feel so like alone, so isolated, so living this kind of world, but it's inside of you. You have no way to get it out. So having said that, I'm moving into a phase of silence here. And what I mean by that is, when I run into my silent phase, when this card pulls for me, it basically lets me know that I need to stop sharing everything outside of myself. So it's like I'm trying to relate and I'm trying to talk and I'm trying to share, and not like nothing is happening. Like I'm getting nothing back. So at that point, usually I take my internal journey inside. So, you know, what's beautiful is this is going to be a self journey. You're going to become your own best friend. And what I mean by that is, instead of looking for validation outside of yourself, you know, connect with yourself inside, like the self-love and taking care of yourself and just figuring out who you really are inside. And you don't need to share that information with other people, because unfortunately a lot of times other people just try to break you down. I don't know why they do it. It happens a lot to me, where they try to, I don't know, make me feel like I should be different, or make me feel like I'm not good enough, or they make me feel like, yeah, I'm not good enough. So it's at that point that I stop sharing my stories, because I'm not looking for validation from that kind of energy.
It's funny you say that, because that I kind of went through something today that validated that. Exactly.
Okay, good. So you get it, you know, and it says move into that silent phase. We're not trying to convince anyone anything. I do see that you have a new vision coming up. So I see that, you know, whether it's happened yet or not, but I see some changes that are happening. I see you're kind of like your soul is stirring, and you're looking for something that could really feed your soul, that could be an outlet for you, that's healthy energy in your life. Because especially someone who, you pulled the master card as well. So not only master, but you pulled master and creator. So master creator means that you really, really have the potential to do something really phenomenal and really amazing with these gifts that you've been given. And I'd like you to really put a little bit of energy and thought into finding a really healthy environment that your soul can really step into this light that it's meant to be sharing. You know, sometimes we get stuck in this everyday living. Like me in construction, I can't share my light in construction. And the world has like a ton of construction workers. And I might be good at that. I'm not saying go quit your job or anything, but I am saying like what I'm doing. I didn't quit my job, but this is what my soul needs to feel healthy. So this is why I do this, because my soul feels like, oh, I'm sharing. I feel healthy. And I want you to find something like that. I don't know what it is. It could be volunteer work. It could be getting involved with an organization. It could be something that really speaks to your soul. I want you to figure that out. And they're asking you to trust this process. So I guess there's going to be things that are coming and things that seem a little uncertain to you, and things that might come as a surprise, and they're asking you to trust them totally. I know that can be a little scary sometimes, but maybe doors might open and you're like, I don't know, maybe. And they're saying, yes, go through the door. And then we're going to open another door and you're going to go through that door. So they're also letting us know to be patient. So what that means is that this is a process. So it's not going to happen tomorrow. You're probably looking at 6 months to a year of this process of restructuring, cleaning up your energy, finding your groups, finding your vision, walking through those doors. And then they're showing me a full integration of you as a human. So meaning of actually a master, but I have a little bit more before I get to that. But what they're showing is that I'm integrating the dark side and the light side. So a lot of times, sometimes we can get out of balance, meaning either we're doing too many things that are in the lower vibrational 3D world, which all of us have stuff like that. We all do, but we have to be careful that it's not creating some kind of lower energy inside of our field, like some kind of guilt or some kind of like negativity or some kind of unhealthy behavior, because then that kind of messes up the other side. So we want to make sure that we're bringing those together, that we're loving, because you can't not be that person. I tried. And when I first learned about all this, I was like, oh, well, I'm never going to do anything dark or, again, or unhealthy again. And that's simply not true. You can't live without the light and the dark, but you have to love them both and maintain health throughout both circumstances. So whatever I want to travel and play with over here, It really does still need to be kind of healthy. And then I need to make sure that I'm making healthy choices for myself, dark or light. You know what I mean? We really want to integrate that. And now from there, once that integration happens, again, I do see that you're going to master your creation and you're going to heal. So what's so amazing about that is when you're healthy and you have your people and you've created this beautiful life, it's at that point that you really become a master in your life. And a master creator means that you're at peace, that you're at one with who you are, that you're healing and you're teaching and you're sharing, and you've truly stepped into the person that you meant to be here on this earth, which is just a beautiful existence. And anything other than that existence sucks, because I've been there. I've been on the other side where I'm like, I don't understand what all of this is about, and I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here, and life feels so empty and pointless and meaningless. And many of us feel that way. But the reality is when you've taken the steps and you've taken, made the choices, and you become a master creator here on earth, and you can watch how you can heal the people who are around you. It's just the most amazing experience that you could ever have. Even just sitting next to a tree becomes just enlightening, and even just interacting with a human, and anything that you do at work and anything you do at home just becomes this beautiful practice. And I see that in your life if you so choose to do it. Something that can get in your way, though, is if I want you to monitor your mind, because when your mind drops into a lower energy, it splits. It happens to a lot of us. And when the mind splits, while you have this beautiful destiny ahead of you, when your mind splits, the other side of it is like the dark side. And it's the side that really wants to kind of destroy all of this. So don't go there. You know what I mean? You're going to feel its pull. You're going to feel it want to split. You're going to feel it want to take you down. You're going to feel it try to distract you. You're going to feel it try to tie you up again. You're going to feel it, but I want you to think of it as a sadhana, as a spiritual practice. So instead of falling into it, and even if you find you fell into it, it's okay, because all you do is click back out of it. Okay, I had to experience certain things, but I'm going to move out of it. So watch that mind, monitor that mind to make sure that it's healthy and that it doesn't take you down some kind of dark path, which many of us do experience. So just keep your vibrations up. And this is how I keep my vibration up. This is what I do. If I didn't have this, I'd probably be in that place. This is what I do to maintain myself, to maintain my energy, to keep my energy healthy, to make healthy choices, to maintain that vibration pattern. Anyway, once I see you have those things, you have a really amazing path ahead of you, which is great. You completely changed your cards from last time to this time. I couldn't even see any of this stuff because you had all that other stuff that you had to let go of and clear up.
That's a lot of thank you to you and Joseph. Because let me tell you, after my reading with Joseph, and then I think the following week you read me, I started to change a lot of the guilt I was feeling. And I said, you know what? It's time to let it go. Whatever happened, happened. And it's time to make a change. And I have noticed within my life a lot of changes.
Thank God. Oh, that's all we can ask for, right? And then now you can become an ascended master, and now you can become a light worker, and now you can walk in your destiny and be the person that you're meant to be here on earth, because it's time now. I see it. It's right in front of me.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, bye. I see someone popped on, JC. I guess I'll pop on a JC. Let's see. All right. It's good to see you. Check in. Let me know how things go, okay?
I will.
Bye, baby. All right, let's see. I can click you off. And then JC, hello. Are you there? Would you like a reading? I'm almost done. I'm almost tapping out. But you popped on. But I don't see your face, so I don't know if I should click you on or not. Click.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Would you like a reading?
Yes, please. That would be interesting.
Okay, perfect. Take a breath for me, okay? Okay, darling. I'm not going to filter this reading. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So I see that there is an energy that's in your life. It's kind of running you around in circles. So kind of like you're not able to please this energy. And this energy is kind of like, you need to do this and you need to do that. And this is not right. And this is not wrong. And it's like it's running, it's exhausting. So this is an energy that's surrounding you. And it's kind of like constantly berating, now I don't know if this is you or an energy that surrounds you, but I'll let you place this energy where it goes. So when I read for what this energy is in coming into your field. So this is what your field is pulling. Now, I do see a woman, I do see a relationship. But I do see a little bit of mind, stuff happening. I see a lot of maybe like past stuff. I see the mind is like got a lot of stuff from a lot of different places, and it's telling you this and it's telling you that, and it's running and around, and this is what's supposed to be happening, and that's what's supposed to be happening, this is what's supposed to be happening. What happens is it's very tiring. It's very tiring to have to carry around that mind all the time. So what happens is our energy sometimes gets trapped in the mind, and it gets trapped in the mind because call it like a computer that's in need of an software update. I mean, let's not say there's something wrong with you, because it's not that. It's just, we've been raised a certain way, and our mind is actually like a supercomputer. But if we haven't had like the right training or, the right methods, then our mind gets full of all sorts of weird things. We don't know where they came from. Probably a lot of it from your past. Mom, dad, brother, sister, kids at school. Like we had an entire whole bunch of people putting all sorts of stuff in your mind. And I just want to let you know that energy no longer serves you, that I want you to do some grounding practices. I want you to study, what it means to meditate, and what it means to clear the mind, and what it means to let go of some of that, I'm going to call it nonsense, that flows around in there, because they're old, residual, stale thought patterns stuck on a loop, repeating themselves over and over and over. And it happens to all of us. So especially without us really knowing how to get rid of it. And we can't get away from our mind if we don't know where the off switch is. I promise you there is an off switch. Okay, so now from there, I also see that you're in a suppressive environment. So your energy is being suppressed. And when that happens, we can't make choices moving forward. We can't make decisions. The energy around us is so heavy, and it's so dense that's actually what's also contributing to the mind, to the stuff that's happening there. Because when our energy gets really low, then we vibrate because we're tired, because there's like someone telling you what to do all the time. And then our energy gets low, and then it's suppressed. Then the stuff happens in the mind. We're just really altogether not feeling well, and we're not feeling healthy. And that's because our energy has dropped into a low vibrational energetic pattern. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no form of judgment here. It's just a low pattern, a low vibration pattern. So what you want to do is raise your vibrational energy up. And the only way to do that is to, you know, to meditate, to find creative outlets, to listen to, you know, some stuff on YouTube has a lot of, you know, there's books everywhere. There's Wayne Dyer and there's Deepak Chopra, and there's so many spiritual teachers out there. Eckhart Tolle is my favorite, and Osho. So what I recommend is that you bring back the playfulness, find the playfulness back into your life, which has been gone. So the idea of just going out and taking a walk and sitting in the grass and watching the fish jump, that's just doesn't happen anymore. And so your little soul is so tired. It needs some light, and it needs some sun, and it needs some water, and it needs to go outside and just barefoot and lay in the grass and roll around on a blanket, you know. And also it needs some really positive spiritual light workers in your life. Find a group, meetup.com. Meetup has lots of groups that are in your area. I don't know, a church, yoga. Find the light. Find some spiritual ways to feel better. Because right now, nothing else is really going to help you. Okay, so you're going to bring that playfulness back into your life. Now, I also see, like, with the relationship is that you kind of have this ideal image, which I do too, so I get it, of like what we imagine a relationship should be like, and what we imagine our partner, you know, should behave, or how we imagine, you know, a perfect relationship will be. But the truth is, well, you know, and I know, it doesn't exist. And so if we're putting all of our kind of energy into this perfect relationship, or into the way a relationship should be, really just going to be let down and disappointed over and over. So I have to let that go. You have to let that go. We have to let that energy go. And we just really have to turn that energy into ourselves right now, because the love that you're seeking isn't going to be outside of yourself, but it's going to be inside of yourself. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but the truth is that when I'm feeling unloved, or when I'm feeling unloved, I have to turn around and give that love to myself and be like, look, Kristen, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? It's okay. You're amazing. You're beautiful. I love you. I love you. You know, so I don't need, and the universe loves you, and source loves you, if you want to take it a step further. You know, the universe truly loves you and wants you to be healthy, and wants you to be happy, and wants you to feel fulfilled. But if you're shooting your energy out and looking for so many different, or, you know, you're shooting it out everywhere, then you have nothing left for yourself. And that's where we're feeling kind of, you know, empty. Next thing is, you know, you have also another energy, probably a similar energy that's inside, that puts on a smile. It's really like smiling and friendly, but underneath it all, they do not have your best of intentions in their heart. So they might have a happy face on, babe, but they're not, you know, they're not healthy in your life. The energy is unhealthy for you, and they do not have, you know, your best of intentions at heart. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so now moving on, the last thing that I would like to say is, after you clean up your energy, clean up your environment, make some changes, bring your energy into a higher vibrational field, tap into source, find your meditation groups, listen to your YouTube, do whatever you can. Like, this is your life we're talking about. From there, you're going to go ahead and reach some maturity, some spiritual maturity, some peace, some flowering, the happiness, your destiny, you know, peace on earth. Like, you're going to feel better. But right now, you have some things to clean up, because you can't dwell here in this energy for much longer, because you're not feeling good. Okay? Come back and let us know how things go. You still there?
That's quite interesting. Yeah. Can you?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite interesting. I just got a couple of questions there. So, what is it that it seems that I'm dwelling on? Like what is it that you're sensing there?
Well, then I have to ask you a question in order for me to answer that. The suppression energy and the controlling energy, is that coming from you, or is it coming from someone in your life?
I would think it's coming from me. I think I'm the one that's manifesting or creating that.
Okay. So what's happening is when you're bringing this energy into your life and you're holding on to it, do you not have any outlets? Do you not have any spiritual ways to heal your inner soul? Like, I know that sounds so, guru-ish, but I see that you don't have any light energy around you. So it feels just like darkness. It feels like you're cut off from source a little bit. And when you dwell in that energy, all sorts of things happen, like all sorts of, I'm going to call them bad things, because in that energy, that's where like the bad things happen, like things that are unhealthy and things that are like fighting and things that are like, you can't live here. Like, you don't want to live in this energy. You have to learn how to remove this energy from your field. And it probably came into you from other sources, probably, I would say probably family, growing up and being raised in an environment that was similar to this. So you've created an environment that's similar to this now in your existence, in your world, because it's just something that you've always been used to. It's something that you've always been raised around. It's something that you're probably comfortable with, but it's going to make you sick, to be honest. You're going to feel very like sick, because there's no light here. And so you're cut off, so it's not only sick here, it'll begin to get sick into your body too, because it's kind of like, what's the word? Like you're, a car, but you put like diesel gas in it or something, versus like the high octane stuff, you're running on diesel fuel and you're like a Mercedes.
So yeah, so this energy that you're talking about, where you say that it's like, I need to have more light energy or more high frequency energy. So is it that you're suggesting that the environment that I'm in is just not productive for what I need at this particular time, or the environment that I'm in is consuming
Actually,
me?
Both. You answered it, both. And I don't know what changes that you need to make in your environment. I feel you know what they are. If the changes are from you making certain decisions, in your mind to heal from this so I feel like your mind kind of like running circles around you all the time? Like, is your mind talking to you and saying things that are unhealthy to you?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that we all probably experience some kind of like loop pattern thinking. Sometimes we get caught up in certain sequential thoughts dependent upon what's consuming us at that particular time.
Yes, but for yours, you pulled so many. You pulled 1, 2, 3, 4 cards of this type. So that's not common. I mean, I know these cards. So, I mean, okay, I was in a relationship. So do you know what a narcissist is?
I mean, just loosely, yeah.
Loosely. Okay. So I don't know if it seems like this is a narcissistic energy that's around you. Again, I can't tell whether it's coming from you or from a partner, but the narcissistic energy, it's very draining. And, many times the only way to heal it, there's one way to heal it, only one way. It's not going to be easy, but it is quite simple. It does take some work on your part. But again, I apologize if this sounds cliche, but it's called the power of now. It's called presence. So the power of now is how to heal every single thing that's happening in your life right now, whether it be from you or whether it be from a partner. So Eckhart Tolle wrote the book, The Power of Now. You are not going to understand a freaking word of it when you first start reading it. You're going to be like, I can't believe I have to get through this book. I listened to it on books on tape. It helped a little bit. I was a little more audible versus reading it. I've probably read the book 1,000 times, and every time I read it, I still learn something new. But after the first time and like I said, you don't understand a whole lot of it to begin with, but it's the one thing that it healed me, and it heals everything. So even this narcissistic energy, wherever it is coming from, this is the answer to it. And you'll also want to study, it's called presence. present moment awareness. So these are key words that you want to go on YouTube, you want to start researching, you want to start Googling, and you want to start studying. Because it's not like you can just change who you are at this moment. It's not like you can change your environment or your existence like that, but you can try to take the steps and the tools to try to feel better. And this is the way to feel better. This is actually how to heal yourself and your environment. But like I said, it's one of the hardest things that most people have to undertake. And many people, to be honest, don't really have the courage to do it. And they listen to it, but they get tired of it. And this world is just too easy to is a lot of work. But I promise you that therein lies the peace that you're seeking if you stay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And find your groups, find your groups on Facebook, find the Power of Now on YouTube. Just listen to every video that you can. Audible.com. Eckhart Tolle has thousands, probably hundreds, I don't know how many books, a lot. Maybe start with the first one, but if you find that hard to digest, you can start with the littler ones. But the first book is the master one. And that's the one that's the hardest to get through, but has the most benefits. And the second I finished it, I turned it on and listened to it again. And then the second I finished it, I turned it on and I listened to it again. And I've done that for many, many years. And every time I'm not feeling good again, first thing I do is go back and I start listening to that book again. Okay.
I hear it. So just so I kind of understand how you do this. So you basically choose cards. Is it 5 cards that you choose from your deck?
Oh no, it's as many cards as just pull. And all it does is pull your energy. It's just every one of us has an energetic field that's around us at all times. And so let's say, for example, tomorrow you decided that you wanted to let all this stuff go and you were going to move out of your environment and shift into a different energy. Your cards will pull differently. So it's really just energetically pulling what's in your field at this exact moment.
Okay.
And it can change too.
And what were those cards that you pulled? You said there were 4 of them that were similar.
Okay, so one of them is called the burden. And what that means, again, is that the energy, and when I say the energy, the thing is, I don't want to say you are feeling this way or your partner is feeling this way. I try not to presume that about anyone. But there's an energy in your life that's very, whether it's from you or a partner, that's very trying and what's the word? It's like a really bad boss or someone that you just cannot please. Someone that just, no matter what you do, you cannot please this person. And to be honest, this person is kind of a user. So, for me to be blunt about it and to not filter it, it's a little bit like, it's abusive, to be honest. And this person is like, I want you to do this and I want you to go here. They don't respect boundaries. They tend to take advantage of the person that they're around. They tend to see what they can get out of someone. They tend to run the object of their affection or the object of their whatever it is, victimization, into the ground. It leaves you completely drained of all energy. And really changes I call it a victim because changes that person. That person's going to have to get strong and they're going to have to say enough is enough at some point. Another one is, now I did pull a beautiful card though as well. It's a female card. And it does pull a, beautiful, calm, serene situation. Someone who can walk outside and someone who can see the bees and the butterflies and the flowers and the trees and just pick flowers and be happy and content. So that pulled right in the middle of this very burdensome person, and this beautiful, ordinary, doesn't have to be female, but it's a female energy. And the next card is the mind. But the mind is full of all sorts of bits and pieces, again, that was picked up, from lots of things. So I know that when I pull this card for me, I'm usually not in a healthy place. And I'm just I'm concerned about my life. I'm stressing about this. I'm frustrated about this. And maybe I'm depressed. I have a lot of things rolling around in my mind about the good things and the bad things and what's right and what's wrong. And I'm judging, there's a lot of judgment here. And there's just, it's tiresome. It's like the mind is hurting you. The mind just won't stop running, and it has all these thoughts and opinions and judgments, and it just won't stop. So it tends to get very heavy, you know. And then the next card I pulled was suppression. So the suppression card, it's basically, a lot of it can do with, some of it's an addiction, but a lot of it's a controlling environment. So it's very controlling, meaning that, like, again, you're back to the right and the wrong, and this is the way things are, and there's no way out of this, and my way or the highway, it's black and it's white. And basically the energy is just, you can't move inside of this energy. You can't make a decision. Sometimes it's even hard to speak or think clearly. Someone's being controlled and suppressed. Now, there's some other cards. The next card I pulled, I'll just tell you, it's called the dream. Okay, and the dream is basically this person, and they have, again, they're looking up at this relationship as an ideal relationship, like what you expect a relationship to be like. And when that relationship isn't that way, and it's not exactly how you expect it to be, it can be very, you know, frustrating, and those expectations are not met, and that energy further drives you down and further kind of just turns it into a cold place to be. And, you know, people can't always live up to, you know, these expectations. I know that I pull that, and I know that for my partner, I was placing way too many expectations on them, and there was no way they could meet it. And also, I wanted this person to be something that he wasn't. I wanted him to yeah, and he just wasn't that person. But you know what? No one's ever going to be that person, because that person only lives in my mind. It's only in my mind that I want this person to be this way, and it just never happened. And I needed to let that go, and I needed to make peace with that, especially moving forward in trying to find a healthy relationship. I wanted to make sure I was bringing healthy energy into that, and not putting these ideal rules and stipulations on the person that, you know, that I'm with, that they can never meet, because they're all in my head. From there, I did pull playfulness and lovers. So, you know, to me, what that means is we need to bring some of that light energy back, some of that silly energy, some of that love energy, some of that playfulness energy, some of that light back into your life. And lovers, so I do see, again, I pulled a couple relationship cards, so I do see that there's a relationship involved here. You know, but in the middle of all that, I pulled the last kind of card that basically has this, you know, adorable person in the front of it with all the smiles and all the love and this beautiful, kind face. But underneath it, they don't have good intentions. Their intentions are not pure. Their intentions are not of true love. They're of other intentions of kind of control, intentions of a little bit of lies and a little bit of deceit, intentions that are just, they're not healthy to have this kind of energy. It's not healthy to be around this person, to be honest. This person is just really not a good person. Like, now I'm not saying that I don't want to say that they're a bad person, because I don't feel that way about anyone. But I do feel that the certain circumstances that this person has been raised around has created this kind of disconnect from who they are. And so they're having a problem having empathy with the people that they're around. So they don't feel anything. So, and that's because they, you know, were probably neglected as a child. So there's a disconnect between them and between the other humans that are around them. And like I said, they're really, you know, and again, it's the lying, the deceiving, the little bit of cheating, just, you know, not highest of intentions. And the only way I've seen to help the situation is mastering presence, because that moves the energy out of your mind and moves it into your body, because the mind is unhealthy. And the mind, you know, due to its certain traumas growing up, certain neglect growing up, certain things that it experienced, is unhealthy. And so the only way to master that is to move the energy out of the mind and keep basically about 90% of the energy grounded inside of the body. Because inside the body, it's healthy. And learning how to master sense awareness, learning how to master acceptance and forgiveness and gratitude and all these little energetic, they're like loopholes. It helps with your energy just a little bit. But mastering the power of now is the only way to cure or heal this situation. But again, while it is simple, it is definitely not easy. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of studying, and it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of attention. It takes being basically the highest priority in your life above anything else, you know? I mean, I work on it every day. I practice every day, but I have found peace here, whereas I never had that before. I struggled with my life every day before that, you know?
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you breaking that down for me. There's some of that's extremely relevant, I think, right now. That's yeah, that's pretty much
Okay,
yeah.
but I want to give you one last beautiful thing, okay? You see this one?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful card, right?
It is,
So
yes.
that's spiritual maturity. So that's when a soul flowers. That's when a soul just reaches like a beautiful mastery level. So that's basically the opposite of everything I just said. And it pulled right here. So it's in your field, it's in your potential. I mean, you got some stuff to get through, right? To get there, but you can have this. This is yours if you so choose to step down that path and experience it. If not in this lifetime, it'll be in the next, but it is a choice and an option for you, you know, but like I said, it's not going to come easy. You're going to have to put some work in. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate this.
You're welcome. Well, check
Okay.
back in and let us know how things are going. Okay.
Will do. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye. Hi.
Hey, you. Boy, you're like the Energizer Bunny.
I know. I felt I needed to take that
So,
call.
yeah, I went off and I did a reading, or somebody did a reading for me, I should say, and I'm back again.
Who did a reading for you?
Oh, I can't pronounce her name. She's the French Iliant.
Oh, she did a reading for you?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Really?
She brought my father, she brought my grandfather, and talked about the three, talked about my guides, and
Really?
soul purpose, and oh my God, she just really, showed the triangle.
Should we bring her on our show sometime?
She's very shy. She's very shy to share it with me, but yeah, she wanted to express and read for the longest time, so that's why I had that Zoom meeting with her tonight. After your show,
I would love for her to read for me. I really would love it because I know you really can't read for me, but you know I've lost some really important people in my life, you know.
Yeah, I know. Once I get to know you, that's good. So
I know, me too. It's hard. I know. Well, actually, I read for Drew, which I was surprised about. But Drew, if you wonder, that's why I can't really look at you because I know you so well that I have to read without looking at him because I've known him since he was 5. You know. So
when you know somebody, if you're family or good friends, like I can't read for you because we're good friends. Yeah, you know. So, and Ellie gets mad at me because before I was dating her, I used to read for her. And now that we're 2 years together, now I can't read for her, and she gets
I know. I know. That's how it goes. That's definitely how it goes. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for being around and part of the show.
I was gone for an hour. I just got back.
I know. I couldn't stop. Oh, Leslie had a beautiful reading too. Drew had a good reading, and
Jill's did too. Jill's was messaging me. I heard part of Jill's. I left at 9:15. So.
Oh no, I didn't read for Jill.
Yeah, Jill's the first one.
Oh, Jill's. He was. Jill's. That was good for him too.
Yeah, he said he likes you. He said you did a great reading on him. So.
Oh, okay, good. I'm echoing again. I haven't been echoing all night.
Until we got here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it has to be us.
Hello. And now it stopped, but
But me,
Wait.
I'm echoing.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear it now. Now I hear it again. Not that it matters because, there's no one really on, but.
I'm going to put headphones on for Wednesday show. I'll put the earpiece in. Well, good. I'm glad we did this. Wait a minute. I'm not echoing. Am I echoing?
No.
Ah. Hello.
Oh, I heard something small. No, I'm echoing. Can you not hear me echo?
A little bit, not much. I think
echo.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Figure it out. All right. Want to end the show?
Yes, I'm done. I am done. I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say. I want to talk about a couple things, but I enjoyed my show. I had a good time. Steve was good. I got to talk about all sorts of fun, weird stuff.
All right. We'll do the ending video for you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Bye, babe. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye, Drew.
Bye,
Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. See you Wednesday. Readings on